Hello YouTube, it's William. Welcome to another Whittle Talk. We're going to talk about neck knives. Now, I was one of those years ago. Well, it wasn't that many years ago. A couple of years ago. That said I never saw the benefits of a neck knife. Never wear one. No purpose in it. Didn't like anything around my neck. And some things happened. Like I started wearing suspenders because they were convenient. The older you get, the more you go toward convenience, comfort, and didn't that way I didn't have to have something around my waist, a belt. And I'm not much into pocket knives. I really don't care that much for them. I mean, they have their purpose, but I'd rather have a good fixed blade knife any day than I had a pocket knife. So I didn't have a belt. So how was I going to carry my fixed blade knife? So I said I'd try a neck knife. And I've got to the point now to where I feel naked without it. It is so convenient, especially when you're doing tasks. You're always looking down and you can see if you have your knife with you. Before you walk away, you know that if you don't have a knife there, you need to get your knife before you walk away. So it's a security thing with your knife. Also in the winter time when you're hunting, you always have a bunch of clothes on. It's just inconvenient to get to your knife. It's on your belt. Having to go through jackets and all this other stuff to get to your belt. It's just was a pain or a hassle. And again, the older you get, the more you go into convenience. So I started wearing the neck knife in the wintertime during hunting season. The other thing was I couldn't wear a utility belt over my clothing because of my climbing deer stand was too narrow. So I couldn't wear a belt because it would bind me in my climbing stand. So I started wearing a neck knife. I still had a knife there. Of course, in a tree stand, you never know when the stand's going to fail, and you're hanging there with a harness. You might need a knife to cut yourself loose, so you need to have a knife with you. That's a safety issue. So I started wearing a neck knife, and the more I wore it, the more I decided, hey, this is a great way of carrying it. And I started noticing a lot of the old pictures of indigenous tribes and how they would wear their neck knives. And I'm sure it's a carryover from the old flint knives that they had. I'm sure they had very small flint knives and they'd carry them in a little pouch around their neck. Of course, they didn't wear belts that much. They had little strings, I guess, to hold their clothes together, but they didn't have a belt, a heavy-duty belt per se, to carry a knife. So they carried them around their neck. Then once they were introduced to the long knives, which I'm sure the term came from our butcher knives, which was much longer than their standard flint knives. So we got the term of long knives. And that carry method carried over to their butcher knives that they acquired through trade at that point. And you see photographs of knives that seem to hang from their neck down past their belt, if you will. Those long 12-inch butcher knives. But again, it was a convenience. And the more I wore a neck knife, the more I realized that it was a convenience. Now the only hindrance that I saw with it, well, there was two. The only hindrance I saw with it was when you bent over to do a task, then it would hang into your line of sight. But that was easily fixed by just placing it inside your shirt, so when you bent over, your sheath wasn't in your way. The other thing is weight. Trying to get used to weight, and it doesn't matter if it's a very light Mora or if it's a larger knife, such as this one, which is a little bit heavier than a Mora, but not much. It's probably very comparable to the butcher knives that was a trade item with with indigenous people that they actually wore around the neck. I mean, you know, they used the old French trade knives and things like that, which is about 3/16 steel, or not 3/16, but 3/32 steel or 1/16 inch steel. And it's not, this knife is not that much heavier than, say, a Mora. Very comparable to the old hickory butcher knife. But to eliminate some of that weight, then you would use wider neck strings or neck cords, such as these braided paracords, or you could use a wide strip of leather or something like that to help distribute the weight around your neck. That way it doesn't feel like that much weight. So the more I wore it, the more I got used to it, and the more it became a convenience to me, as I've said. It's always there. You see it, you know it. It's easily accessible. And again, it's a security thing, because you look down, you see the knife's not there, you know, hey, I need to get my knife. Okay, so we took care of the weight issue, the sight thing. The other thing that I always hear, and I never really heard a story of this actually happening, but people say I don't wear a neck knife because I'm afraid it's going to get caught on a branch or something and choke me to death. Well, I guess anything's possible. But to me, for that to happen, I would have to be unconscious when I got hung up around the neck. I would have to fall off a cliff or something and be unconscious, because I have a knife here to cut the cord, so it's really not that likely to happen. I don't know what the odds would be. It'd be in excess of 1,000,000 to 1, I would imagine. Probably win the lotto before that happened, but I guess anything is possible. But again, that is not one of my fears. So I like a neck knife because I can wear it in any situation. I can wear it with a lot of clothes on. I can wear it with hardly any clothes on, just a pair of shorts and a shirt, a t-shirt. I can still have a sheath knife with me at all times. So this is my preferred carry 90% of the time, is a neck knife. Well, let me show you some different variations of that and what you can do, and just kind of go from there. I like these little night eyes things here. You can get them at the little S hooks. You can get them at any of the hardware stores or anything like that. And they just clip through little eyelets, and you can hook them onto your neck, and it's very convenient. You just unclip it, pull your neck knife off. Okay, so here's another example of a neck knife. Again, we're using the little night eyes. I don't know if you can see those. I'm put it up against my shirt. You can kind of see it a little bit better. And you can get these in various different sizes, but it's easy. Just put it around your neck. And clip it on, and you're ready to go. And this is just a Kydex sheath with, this is my Bush Buddy 2, which is a modified Bush Buddy, made from very thick steel. It's 3/16 steel, saber grind. So it's very, it's a heavy duty knife. And so wearing it around the neck gets a little bit, you have to get used to it a little bit, but once you do, you forget it's there. And again, if you use the wide cords, then the weight is distributed and you really don't notice it. But I like this because you can, it's one-handed. Say you're fishing trot lines and you're in a boat and you fall out of the boat and you get tangled up in a trot line, and you can't get back in the boat because you're tangled up and the weights are pulling you down, then you have to have a knife with you. So it's right there handy. Pull it, cut the string, get back in the boat. And you got to make sure you're in the Kydex sheath when you do that. And it's a heavy duty, robust. You don't stab yourself in the chest. But I guarantee you, you poke yourself in the chest, you'll quit. So you're not going to continue doing that until you stab yourself in the heart. But anyway, this is just another method of carrying a knife. And I like this method because it's upside down and you still get to it. You can pull it out easy. You don't have to pull it up past your neck. But you can also, it's very short. So you can put it inside your shirt. And you can carry it in town. You can carry it anywhere you want to. But you need to check your laws because it could be considered a concealed weapon. So you need to check your state laws. But it is there. If you need it, you can carry a larger knife, a heavier duty knife. And if you chose on your Kydex, I have a little sharpening steel here. But I could actually put in a little ferro rod on this side. And so I've got a complete fire kit right here around my neck at all times. So that's another method that you can use. And again, little Night Eyes S-hooks, easily undone. It's secure but yet easily taken off. Here's another method. Instead of just carrying it around my neck or putting it around my neck, and just put your cord through there, and you got a little cross draw sheath that is hanging, and you can pull it out with one hand. And I like this method because it is close up to your chest and you can still pull it out. And if you bend over, it doesn't hang into your line of sight. So I like this method. So that's another way of carrying a neck knife. And most people have basic sheaths like this, a basic standard belt sheath. You can take a piece of paracord and just do a fisherman's knot. And if you don't know what a fisherman's knot is, it's just, I'm sure that you can find all kinds of videos on YouTube of how to do that. But all you do is just take both ends of the cord, and I'll just do one side, and just place it around the other cord up over the top, and you're just tying one side of the string to the other one and pulling it tight. And basically it's an adjustable cord that you can just place around your neck and adjust the height of the knife however you want. And this is really handy if you're wearing a bunch of clothes and you're peeling off layers, and as you peel off layers, then you can adjust the knife height to the way that you want it. But this is another way of carrying a neck knife. And you can use this with any of your belt sheaths that you have, just to try it out and see how you like it. So there's are my thoughts on the neck knife. I think that it is a very convenient, safe, secure way to carry a knife. And if you have the right neck cord, you can carry some fairly substantial knives that way with some weight without any discomfort. And if you haven't tried one, try it. Give it a little bit of time. It took me a few days. Then about a week or so, and I got to where I didn't even notice it really. But it was always there. I mean, it was always handy, and especially sitting down or something like that. Instead of trying to get to your belt and get your knife out sitting down, it's just right there and doing tasks. And it's just a very convenient way and secure way of having a larger knife with you, a fixed blade knife, or even a folder. I've seen people carry folders that way in little pouches. So, but try it and see what you think about it. And get in the backyard, whittle on a stick, build a fire, take a child with you, teach him and her how to whittle on a stick, how to use a knife safely, how to roast a weenie over a fire properly. There's a technique to that. So pass on the knowledge to the next generation. Let them enjoy some of these great outdoors that we've enjoyed so much. And if you do, take plenty of Band-Aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.